What's up, you guys? I'm here, Gracie University, Saturday morning sit-down session with my man Richard right here. And man, you guys got to hear his story. And take him back to the John McCarthy days. John McCarthy, UFC, famous referee, goes way back. Tell him.
Yeah, 96, I joined LAPD and I get trained by John McCarthy. And that's when I was first exposed to Jiu-Jitsu.
John McCarthy was the Gracie Academy student back then, 93, 94, 95, 96, which is why he became the UFC ref. My dad hired him as the ref. And John McCarthy was also an LAPD officer who's the head defensive tactics instructor. And Richard was one of the officers that John McCarthy trained. So you got a taste of the Gracie way of jiu-jitsu back then.
Yes.
But then life happened, and then what?
Life happened. I actually promoted to the LAFD, the fire department, and enjoyed that career. And then all of a sudden, I wanted to get back into some self-defense.
So where did you end up doing jiu-jitsu?
I tried some different schools here and there, and I just found out I kept getting smashed. I kept getting beat up. And that's good, except I don't remember learning. And even in the academy with John McCarthy, I would still get smashed and beat up, but I learned something that day.
Right. So you trained for a good 4 months at the school you said, one school you found in Montebello. You trained for 4 months, and then you just got to the conclusion of what?
That I'm not learning as much as I need to learn. I can't get hurt.
Right.
I have a career that I'm still trying to protect.
That's a good point. People, listen, a lot of people want to be gym heroes, right? They want to be they want to go for the gold every time they spar. They go to their school and they feel like it's life or death training. And one guy once came to me and he said, Henner, in the Gracie challenge matches, the videos, the old challenge fight footage, right, in the garage days, those challenge matches, they weren't keep it playful. They were trying to kill each other for real. Like it was a fight for real. When I spar here, we have to do the same thing. We have to go 100%. Otherwise, what are we doing? And when this student said this to me, I looked him right in the face and I went, okay, bro. That was his last class with us. And it's not about training hard, right? Training hard and intense and safely are completely separate things, right? You can train hard and safe, or you can train hard and unsafe. And when you're going for gold and you think that, yeah, it's 100%, I'm going to fight life or death, Gracie challenge match mentality, oftentimes you put your partner's safety in second place and you put your success in first place. And anyone whose partner's safety isn't their top priority is not welcome at Gracie University. And you experienced a school where that was pretty much the way it was, right? You just train, and if it was a bigger guy and you were newer, you were fresh meat, and you just go. Is that it?
And it could be also that it's sport versus self-defense.
Interesting.
And I'm looking for the self-defense aspect.
That's it, because he's a firefighter, you guys. And Richard can't afford to go to school one night, get beat up so badly and get twisted up so badly that he can't go put out fires the next day. We need Richard to go to work tomorrow and serve his community to protect the people that he protects and protect all of us. We can't afford for him to get hurt. So for him to be in a school where, he's just a grappling dummy for someone twice his skill level and twice his size is a huge liability for him. It's a liability for the school and not being able to grow its student base. And it's also a liability for the community because he can't go protect and serve initially as a law enforcement officer, police officer, but now as a firefighter. So it's just so important, no matter where you are in the equation. If you're a school owner, you want to protect your students, right? So focus on how do you keep more students on the mat to serve them in a better way for the rest of their life. If you're a student, you want to find a school that you can go to, train as much as you want, and go to work the next day. If you're so knocked out that you can't go to the work the next day, you're probably not at the right school. Now, if your job the next day is to go be a professional fighter, then guess what? You guys should be killing each other every day. Do what you got to do. That's your living because you're going to go in the octagon and someone's going to put it to the test. But unless that's your reality, it's really sketchy to make a life on the mat thinking that every training partner there is there to serve you and they're your grappling dummy or they're your fresh meat to test. No, you guys. Work with each other, not against each other. And just because we're learning how to fight doesn't mean we have to kill each other in practice in order to learn and in order to grow. So many students out there have had this experience before where they've been to a gym and it was less than favorable. What would you say to them in terms of your own experience, in terms of having hope? Because you eventually stumbled upon, how did you find us?
Gosh, YouTube videos, like trying to figure out how to get off a knee on belly, side control. How do I get off this mount? How do I do this? I started teaching myself.
Interesting.
And then I found out, why don't I just come here? I'm close enough to make it.
So you saw enough of our YouTube videos and you said, they're right there. Let me go check it out. You came in here and tried this class while you were still a student at the other school. And what was your mentality once you had experience in both places? Comparatively, what were you thinking at that moment? What was the process?
I'm going to learn here. It's safe here. I even brought my daughter in the bulletproof camp that she had over the
That's
summer.
a good sign.
And she's committed now. It's here.
It's here, you guys. So if you've done jiu-jitsu and fallen off, there's hope. If you haven't done jiu-jitsu,
Yes.
be careful, because not all jiu-jitsu is created equally. And just because someone puts Gracie on the storefront, Gracie family is a huge thing. And I can't vouch for any Gracie family schools other than the ones that I've personally certified. And other members of my family will vouch for their schools that they've personally trained. But it's very important that you don't take anything, even our schools, you don't take it at face value. Certified Training Center, oh, no, you go in there and you watch a class. You try it out for 10 days for free. And while you're trying it out, you try 3 other schools. You guys, it's a lifelong commitment, right? So instead of just diving in head first in one school and thinking that that's it, no. Try a few schools. Even if you come to Gracie University, try 2 or 3 other schools in the community here, so at least you know what you're comparing it to. That's so important, right?
Absolutely, for sure. You must investigate.
It's too serious of a commitment to not investigate. So do yourselves the favor. Thank you, Richard, for A, telling your story, for B, being a dedicated student, and for C, being a firefighter, and such great service you do for our community. This is it. And both in the law enforcement realm as well. Thank you, John McCarthy.
Yes.
For being the catalyst that got this guy even started on jiu-jitsu in LAPD as a student of Gracie Academy, teaching GST in LAPD. That was so dope. And now Richard's here, how many years later? Because of John McCarthy being the connector between Gracie Academy and LAPD, which started way back then in the early 90s. And now everything's blown up the way it has. So everything for a purpose. Much respect. Try jiu-jitsu. Find a certified training center at gracieuniversity.com. They'll give you 10 days free. And during those 10 days, try another school, you guys. Please. Please. So you know what you're comparing it with. Much respect, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Peace.